12 teams, one conference, and a new season. Last year, Florida shocked the basketball world and made it all the way to the national championship game. This season, Billy the Kid's Gators are ranked higher than ever and look to return to the Final Four and win their first ever title. They must face South Carolina in a huge early season test. The Gamecocks capable of dominating on their home floor. And Eddie Fogler and Carolina are now the posh pick to be the surprise team in the East. The quest for number one is underway. Florida and Carolina next. Southeastern Conference basketball in a Sunday showdown. This is a game with an edge. And the very first SEC action of the year for fifth-ranked Florida and the South Carolina Gamecocks. There is energy in here today alongside Barry Booker. I'm Paul Kennedy. Florida enjoying its highest ranking in history. The Gamecocks coming out of the court now, Barry, have won 7 of 8 here and have had a week to get ready for Florida.
It'll be a great one, and with the American universities and the VMIs of the world out of the way, it'll be interesting to see how good the Gators and Gamecocks are.
We know inside Florida is very good. There is a rock in the middle in Udonis Haslem.
UD is tough inside. An excellent player, I believe the best inside player in the Southeastern Conference. He can just take over a basketball game down low with his scoring and rebounding. Shoots nearly 60% a game. Haslem averaging nearly 18 a game. A very tough player down low. And he will have to really pick it up today because his buddy Brent Wright is out, has a stress fracture in his right foot, had a screw placed in there last week. So Haslem will need to pick it up and down bounds for sure today.
Florida going with a 3-guard attack today. More on that in a moment. Now for South Carolina, which has struggled to shoot. Is this the day they warm up? Did Chuck Gibson get hot once again?
And it's been one of the Gamecocks that has struggled more than anyone, really having a tough time outside. But he is the one player on this Gamecock basketball team that can pick up his play. An excellent all-around player. He is the guy that can distribute the basketball, rebound, and score. But over the last couple of games, he's been terrible. Has to pick it up today.
The Gamecock with the left-handed trigger. South Carolina hosting Florida. Our lineups, our opening tap next from the Carolina Coliseum.
New batteries. Liquid wrench. Autocraft battery cables. AC Delco alternators. Advance Auto Parts carries more parts than any other store, including one you won't find anywhere else.
You know, we can give you a free installation if you like.
Sure.
Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Okay, honey. How about this? I'm seeing a cabin.
Are you seeing plumbing?
Imagine a big porch, a stone fireplace, plenty of room for the grandkids. When you find yourself writing the story of your life, tell it to Jefferson Pilot Financial. We'll help make it happen. My big painting of dancing bears?
No.
Oh.
You had me until the bear.
Come on.
Forgot the pickles.
SEC basketball is being brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. By Ice House. Ice House style is about making a good time better with the smooth, never watered down taste of Ice House. By Jefferson Pilot Financial. Complete financial planning and life insurance. We're helping you write the story of your life. And by your friends at Citgo. Citgo, we know you.
The Frank McGuire Arena, the Carolina Coliseum, where for the third straight year, South Carolina must open up against a nationally ranked foe. Here are the starting lineups. First for the Gators, the first career start for the 6'9 sophomore from Concord, New Hampshire, in Matt Bonner. And for South Carolina, the Gamecocks with Lucas Bradley, Marius Petravicius, Gibson, and Tony Kitchen. Muscular, that sophomore, inside. 5-on-5. There we go. South Carolina at 8-3. The Gators who have won 10 of 11. Our opening tap just ahead.
Aloha, sports fans. You're looking live in the Garage Invitational as Stoney steps to the green.
Swing!
Oh, it's a nice swing there, Alice.
Yeah, does your husband play? Consolation prize.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to shoot lefty, guys. But you can't hit right.
Oh, this will be funny.
Come on, Mrs. Groundskeeper's going to be coming home soon. We got to get out of here.
All right.
Easy, Johnny. Give me the club.
Rain delay, Ice House style. Because sometimes all you need is a smooth, never watered down taste of Ice House. Enjoy.
All you got to do for $1 million, my friend, is make this simple shot. But first, we need you to put on these jumbo waders and add in these live Maine lobsters. Dennis, anyone? Okay, Joe, make that shot. Hey, Joe, high five. This is great.
The Alltel You Make the Call game, where every card's a winner. Ask about our 1,000-minute local freedom plan at $39.95 a month.
Do you have a great idea for a new product? Every year, literally billions of dollars are spent on products new to the market, and this could be your year. Advent Product Development can help. Advent Product Development specializes in marketing new ideas and inventions, and we're interested in talking to you. If your idea qualifies, we can patent or trademark it for you and take it to market. Or we can create a TV infomercial and sell your product directly to the public. Call Advent Product Development today and ask for your free inventor's kit.
Don't let your idea slip away. Call 1-800-405-1315 today.
Two teams out of the SEC East. In fact, the last two teams of the 12 in the Southeastern Conference to see action on this first weekend of league play. And you see the Gators have won the last four. That includes their last two trips here to Columbia. Curtis Shaw, Gene Monge, and Ted Valentine, our three-man officiating crew, as assigned by John Guthrie in the SEC office. Mr. Haslam, meet Mr. Kitchen, and we are underway.
And the question today, can South Carolina score enough points to stay with this high-powered Gator club?
It's in the Kitchen. Long ball for him and ripped away or held on to by Haslam. And he's locked up with Marius Petravicius, 6'10 sophomore, and the held ball will go Florida's way right away.
A great opportunity inside. Tony Kitchens from point-blank range couldn't drop in that left-handed half hook.
So here is Florida, which prefers to travel in rather a quick fashion. They like to run the floor. It's up to South Carolina to slow them down. As Florida leads the Southeastern Conference in offense, but commits the first foul on their first trip down the court. Little Teddy Coupe setting an illegal screen.
And South Carolina, the worst scoring team in the Southeastern Conference, and only 73 points a game.
Other than Dupay, that was whistled on Haslam, our first foul. Just over 70 points a game for what has been a very cold shooting Gamecock club. What's that all about, Barry? You go through the threes and inside in the paint. They just failed to convert consistently in the first 11 games this year.
And not a lot of offensive punch on this ball club. Not anyone that can just go and get you a basket if you're South Carolina.
Petravicius travels. He's from Lithuania. Marius Petravicius. You see the field goal shooting woes for the two-time Southeastern Conference Coach of the Year. And Eddie Fogler opening his 8th year now in league play here at South Carolina.
Hard to believe he's been in South Carolina for 8 years now, after spending 4 years at Vanderbilt, winning an SEC title there, and then winning an SEC title and being named Coach of the Year here in Columbia as well.
Petravicius, pretty tough start for him off that double. It is Marius, and the first on the Gamecocks today.
You see South Carolina trying to take the ball out of Udonis Haslam's hands as you see the stats on Eddie Fogler, one of the best in the business. We're
sitting next to one of the best three-point shooters that Vanderbilt's ever seen today. And Barry Booker, and from the corner, Dupay arches. It will not fall. And Petravicius with the big board, and here come the Gamecocks. See if they pick up the tempo here. Petravicius off to Itzen, who's changed his shot this year from a season ago. On the cutter, Lucas leans in close. See, had a good look, was in close. They come away with the foul instead of 2.
Well, good offense there for South Carolina. Aaron Lucas got in the lane. Pretty easy shot, but just couldn't knock it down. Both these teams are very good on defense. Florida best in the Southeastern Conference, giving up only 64.5 a game. And South Carolina second with 65.4 per game.
Here's Matt Bonner, the first start of his varsity career. It goes inside of Udonis, and now Big Matt, who can shoot the 3. Nice reaction by Bradley. And it rattles out off the wrist of Brett Nelson.
From 23 feet out, Brett Nelson not able to get that one down. Rattled and fell out.
Major Parker not starting today for Florida. Rather, Justin Hamilton opens. Donovan's Gators. Itzen off to Aaron Lucas, the junior from right here in Columbia. And a 2 to the whistle. Our official Ted Valentine is on Florida. And Brett Nelson, his first, the second on Florida. On the road for the 3rd consecutive year. Lost their opener in conference play each of the last 2 years, but some of that had to do with location in Memorial Gym in Nashville 2 years ago, and last year in Rupp Arena.
Well, there are no days off in the Southeastern Conference this year for sure.
From the corner, the 3 married by Jamel Bradley.
3rd in the Southeastern Conference in 3-pointers per game.
Bonner left his feet, threw it away. Kitchings off. Flying is Lucas. Top of the key in the corner, alone Itzen. Air ball. Petravicius caught it, goes up against Bonner. He can't score. Lucas tapped it, crashes to the court, and now it's 2-on-1. This is Nelson with Dupay on the wing. Off the heel. Neither team shooting the ball very well. Florida 0 for 3. The Gamecocks 1 of 5.
Well, we're playing Florida Gator pace, an up-tempo game in the past couple of sequences.
Kitchings off the double. He threw it away. Don't groan. It'll get better. Hamilton, Haslam, charges. A big collision inside. Udonis just bowled over Aaron Lucas. That's his 2nd foul.
And that's big trouble for the Gators. And at the other end, South Carolina, Jamel Bradley cranking it up from 3-point range to get the first basket down for the Gamecocks. And then Aaron Lucas taking the charge against Udonis Haslam. And now the Gators, a lot of their bite goes to the bench now.
On is Bonell Colas, the freshman from Miami. Take the place of the strongest man, perhaps, in the SEC.
And now the top 2 scorers for the Gators, Brent Wright with an injury, and now Udonis Haslam with 2 fouls. Both of them on the bench now.
That foul is on Bonner. For Matt, his first. The 4th already on Florida.
And the Gamecocks trying to take it right at the Gators right now. They've got the foul trouble on their big people, and they're trying to get Matt Bonner into foul trouble also with this feed inside. Kitchings trying to take it strong to the basket, ends up at the foul line.
So the left-handed sophomore from Aiken, South Carolina. I don't want to say anything critical. That rolled right off the side. That was not the way that Eddie Vogler would teach him to shoot. Orion Green, the freshman, checks in for Florida. On the court, you see Kitchings' number.
And not a bad foul shooter, 62%.
He only had 4 points at the free throw line in the last 4 games, now make it 5. Partially due to his inability to convert. A lot of times he just hasn't been able to catch the ball inside and get to the rack. It's a 3-0 game, but South Carolina's defense in some measure deserves a lot of credit. Again, they face the top scoring team in the SEC. The lob inside to Bonner. That is short, but tapped in with the right hand. Bonell Colas.
And finally a bucket for these high-powered, high-octane Florida Gators. They go almost 4 minutes before they get their first basket of the game.
They've been over the century mark 5 times already this season. That's a Gator record. Working inside, coming up into Tony O'Grant. They're going the other way. Or rather, Rolando Howell. Now Dupay off to Nelson, who's grabbed on the floor on the baseline. by Aaron Lucas. Junior will be slapped with his first. Well, a pause in the action here. Baseline, Nelson. Starting today, he opened the championship game. He's grabbed 5 minutes into this. 3-2. That's our score in Carolina.
Good morning. It's 6 a.m. Come on, your meeting's in 2 hours.
Comfort Inn knows the business traveler.
I've been thinking. Kill the sides. Just talk to him.
Remember, enunciate.
Take deep breaths. Our complimentary breakfast saves you time and money.
You the man.
Our guest privileges frequency program earns you free nights fast. And we serve business travelers in over 1,500 locations worldwide.
You did it again.
I love my job.
It's more than a room. It's comfort.
It's time for another Piccadilly People Profile. Well, it's a good thing we have 50 feet of hot, wholesome, home-style cooking, because our friends the Taylors have about 47 feet of family, which translates into 4 feet of corn on the cob and roughly 1.5 foot of blue Jell-O, stacked vertically, which is hard to do. Kids, we don't try to figure them out. We just feed them. Piccadilly Cafeteria. Who says you can't please everybody?
Light, airy cones of crispy corn. There's no such thing as too many bugles. Bugles. More is better.
From Columbia, South Carolina, the score 3-2 early on. Both teams, after about a week layoff, showing some rust. But South Carolina, led by a group of sophomores, scoring nearly over 50% of their points and doing the job rebounding and with assists. That sophomore class dominating for the Gamecocks. Chuck Idson, Marius Petravicius, Tony Kitchings, and Calvin Clemens doing most of the damage in that group.
A field goal apiece. Florida 1 of 5. South Carolina 1 of 6. Happy Halloween. Oh, it's New Year. That's what it is. And South Carolina in the zone. Orion Green down to Nelson from 12.
Nice job by Brent Nelson. Had trouble catching the basketball, but gathered it in, able to put it on the floor, find some space, and drop it in for 2.
Brent Nelson had hit 1 of 10. The only setback this year in Michigan State. The only loss these Gators have faced all year from the corner. What for this time for Jamal Bradley? He had buried a 3 earlier in the game, but it's off to Idson, the offensive glass.
South Carolina does a great job against teams that press. They break the press very well, attack the basket, and get open shots against pressure defense.
Another miss with Kitchings on the way back up with the stick back draws contact. He's going to the line a second time.
South Carolina doing a nice job getting to the foul line. They need to take advantage. Kitchings needs to pick it up from there.
Major Parker did not start today. He's been in and out of the lineup, the senior from Fort Lauderdale, on the floor now, and hit with his first foul. And back at the stripe, Tony Kitchings. Finally with the Kitchings sink. Major Parker.
Billy Donovan's first recruit to Gainesville and the University of Florida, and the University of Florida has come a long way since Coach Donovan brought Major Parker and Brent Wright to the campus 4 years ago.
Hard off the heel and off to Nelson. Just 1 of 4 by Kitchings. A free throw line to get this game underway. So with Wake Forest falling yesterday, if Florida comes in here and wins, it appears the Gators would climb another rung up the ladder. Here's Nelson with the jump move in the lane. 4 for the sophomore. One further up the poles. They're in rarefied air at the moment, among America's 5 best.
And amazing the job that Billy Donovan has done at the University of Florida. Recruiting, bringing in the high-profile players, the McDonald's All-Americans, and he has put Florida basketball on the map at a football school where they said it couldn't be done.
Antonio Grant, Ibsen down hard. No whistle. Orion Green up-tempo. Nelson on the wing. Crossover dribble. Feeds inside and now back. Look at the ball movement here. This is Parker alone. Won't fall for him. They lead the SEC in assists there, and I guess it's a measure of the way they pass the basketball. A reaching foul. Teddy Dupay may be hit with this one. His ball club right now ranked 5th in the AP's top 25. One of 4 teams out of the SEC, and all 4 of these teams won. Well, 3 of the 4 have.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Sorry. Our Gamecock fans just started screaming at the television set. But Tennessee, a double overtime thriller.
Hey,
on the plains of Auburn.
It's never going to be easy in the Southeastern Conference when you go on the road. You'll take a win any way you can get it, and I'm sure the Volunteers are happy to be back at home in Knoxville with that W.
On the floor, Antonio Grant, the senior. Got 3 to hit from 15. His first 2, he averages 7. South Carolina native. And we're locked up at 6 apiece. And a whistle inside on Rolando Howell to the displeasure of Eddie Fogley.
And Antonio Grant, a clutch performer for the Gamecocks, able to shake free the defense of Ladarius Holton and drop in that little 17-footer. Points will be at a premium today. Any basket is a big basket.
Ladarius Holton is in the game for Florida. He triggers the inbounds to Orion Green. You see the perimeter offense now. 4 on the perimeter, 1 man and Bonner on the low post. And Holton can't shoot over Itson.
That's the guy you got to get to. Brett Nelson, the biggest scoring threat on the court right now for the Gators.
Back to Bonner over Petravicius. That won't go, and it's ripped down by Antonio Grant.
It's a strong board by Grant.
Give me some of that. Michael Boyden in the forecourt. Off to Grant, the most experienced Gamecock on the floor. Petravicius, the sophomore, misses. And Bonner up to Orion Green. Holton. South Carolina gets back very well on defense.
They are a very tough defensive ball club. They're not going to give Florida anything easy today.
The freshman in Orion Green. Now off to Holton. Holton, a sophomore, just threw it. Pass. Major Parker for the turnover. That is the 4th committed by Florida here in the first half. Aaron Lucas back onto the floor for South Carolina. I know Howell will take a chair. And here's David Ross, the senior, their lone Floridian. St. Pete, Florida native. And Ross, the senior, he is in for Chuck Itson. Yet to score. Lucas presses the tempo and cannot finish.
You see the quickness of Aaron Lucas, able to explode and get to the basket, just could not finish.
Over South Carolina now, just 2 of 12. Yikes.
And both teams out of sync. Florida really out of sync offensively without Udonis Haslem and Brent Wright to go to inside. They're having a tough time finding points.
And that's 34 points of their offense, statistically speaking, but just their presence inside. Udonis Haslem with 2 quick fouls, sitting on the Gator bench at the moment. And a whistle away from the basketball. And it's on South Carolina.
With 6 on the shot clock, and Florida 25 feet away from the basket.
That foul is on David Ross, his first, the team's 5th. Midway through our first half, a very low-scoring basketball game.
Pizza Hut has got a pizza custom made for everyone on the planet Earth. The Big New Yorker, 16 inches of foldable New York-style pizza. Stuffed crust pizza, a ring of cheese deliciously hidden in a tasty crust. Pan pizza, soft and chewy on the inside, crunchy golden brown on the outside. Exclusively only from the professional pizza on the brain, 24/7 obsessive. We care about pizza so much it's frightening. Pizza maniacs at Pizza Hut. A variety so vast it is irrefutable, mouth-watering, delicious proof that together they are without the slightest doubt the best pizzas under one roof. Wow, I gotta go. I'm starving.
Turtle Wax, Grizzly Grill Guards, Rancho Shocks, gas cans. Advance Auto Parts carries more parts than any other store, including one you won't find anywhere else.
We need some help. We need a lot of help.
Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Do you owe back taxes?
Don't let the IRS scare you. The law offices of Ronnie Lynn Deutsch will help you settle all back taxes, levies, liens, and penalties, and will help stop your IRS nightmare now. In fact, the law offices of Ronnie Lynn Deutsch are so confident they'll pay you $250 if they can't settle your case for pennies on the dollar. Call the law offices of Ronnie Lynn Deutsch now.
Call 1-800-405-1315 for your free initial consultation. This is a limited time offer, so call now.
South Carolina hanging early with the Florida Gators, who are handcuffed today by the loss of their fine senior forward in Brent Wright.
I think the points are not the issue, or the rebounds are the issue. I think the issue with Brent is really the fact of the little things that he did, the intangible stuff, the stuff that didn't show up on the stat sheet, the fact that he was a senior, leadership, captain, third year starting, in front of our press, just a lot of different things that he did do.
And there he is, having undergone surgery, a screw inserted into his right foot. He may be back, though, in a month and a half, making him available down the stretch.
3 to 6 weeks, they say, so maybe the second time around the Southeastern Conference schedule, Brent Wright will be available. But right now, with Wright out and Haslam in foul trouble, it's like Florida doesn't have their security blanket. They don't know what to do when you can't just dump it inside and get an easy two.
Or kick it back out to free up the perimeter, and Bonner now trapped, and a lane violation on Major Parker. And Florida just 3 of 9 from the floor. They have turned the ball over 5 times and have scored but 6 points. Our Pizza Hut scoreboard, a tumultuous affair. Alabama escapes Baton Rouge. There's Tennessee in double overtime. Mississippi State might be very good. Kentucky by 4 over Georgia. And Ole Miss is 13-1 for the first time in 75 years. They won yesterday.
Those 2 Mississippi schools are good. Mississippi State going to Arizona and getting a win, and big win on the road for the Rebels going into Nashville, taking out the Commodores.
And Teddy Fogler, who we thought was the biggest surprise yesterday, Michael Boynton, the freshman, connects here in his very first SEC game. The team Eddie Fogler is most impressed with, the Bulldogs from Starkville in Mississippi State. Orion Green, other freshman, can't connect. There is Major Parker, quickly outside to Dupay, who launches and buries the first 3 of the afternoon for Florida.
Great board by Parker and a nice kick out to find Teddy Dupay. And Dupay knows that Florida needs his scoring punch right now. Look at that switch. Dupay trying to guard Kitchings down low.
Lucas with Dupay on him. Ross, Ocasio High School in the Bay Area. Panther, St. Pete, over Bonner to Kitchings. Boynton, great ball movement in the low post. This was Grant. Off the glass, won't fall. Bonner rips the board.
Teddy Dupay using his size advantage. He's so small, he hardly ever gets fouls called on him.
Inside, head fake. Parker, Boynton got him from the backside.
Offensive board work paying dividends for the Florida Gators. Here's Major Parker flying in to snatch a rebound. Finds Teddy Dupay for an open 3-point shot. And on this last possession, the Gators come up with another offensive rebound. Halton following his shot to set up Major Parker for an opportunity.
So Boynton, the freshman, with his first, but the Gamecocks at their limit with 6. And now the senior in what is his 106th career game. Most of any Gator, Major Parker. Less than a 50% free throw shooter. However, here's Chuck Eidson back onto the floor. He'll take the place of David Ross.
Parker's been hampered with back spasms the past few days. Didn't practice one day last week. And that may be affecting his ability to shoot the basketball.
Unless the co-captain not in the starting lineup today, he missed them both. First 2 free throw opportunities of the afternoon for the Gators, leading but by 1. South Carolina back by this big crowd, playing with some confidence. And every moment that Florida continues to struggle, and there's a touch foul on Justin Hamilton out on the wing. Able South Carolina to hang right with them.
Playing at home, South Carolina will grow in confidence against this number 5 team in the country. South Carolina not intimidated and expecting to win this ball game as both teams struggle from the foul line.
To put Antonio Grant at the line. Just a 50% free throw shooter on the air. But a sigh of relief from all of us.
Someone finally made one of those. free throws aren't free today, and Antonio Grant only 10 of 21 from the line on the season so far.
That's off the rim and a whistle. And a foul on South Carolina. And it may be on the big fella, Tony Kitchings. That would be his second. It is, and he'll have to check out. So both Haslam and his fellow heavyweight in Kitchings are in early foul trouble.
See Antonio Grant letting it go, and Kitchings trying to go up and swat that ball out of there. Usually you can get away with that if you just tip the basketball away the way Kitchings did, but Gene Manji detects the foul over the back on Kitchings.
Marius Petravicius from Lithuania, who went to prep school in New Hampshire, and when he was in prep school played against Matt Bonner, who is a New Hampshire native. Matt today his third point, already with 5 rebounds. And again, we'll remind you this is his first career start. 4 for Matt.
Bonner coming into this game averaging about 13 points per ball game. And he will, obviously, with Haslam and Wright on the bench, Bonner will have to carry the load inside for the Gators.
It's off to Bradley against pressure, and now Chuck sets it up. Aaron Lucas on the wing, and Grant. Hamilton jumped out on him. Shot clock now at 15. Grant around Halton. And a foul on Marius Petravicius. Pretty vehement by official Ted Valentine in making that call.
Caught him using his arms to get space down inside. Petravicius trying to post up and hold off Matt Bonner. Using his hands a little bit too much there.
The emphasis on reducing the amount of contact among the big players in the paint of the lane. Marius Petravicius, the sophomore, commits his second. We march to the other end of the floor, and here again, Matt Bonner. Coming back from his homecoming in New Hampshire. It buries New Hampshire by 48. In fact, Florida has won 3 of its last 4 games in its pre-conference schedule by better than 40 points. Are they that good, or is that an indication of the schedule?
Their competition has not been very strong in many of those games. But the Gators are a very solid club. They have great chemistry on this team. They're very well coached. And they have a shot for sure to win the Southeastern Conference. I think Tennessee, by far the most talented club in the league, but Florida, with their chemistry and the way they play together, have a shot.
Antonio Grant, his second free throw. Eddie Fogler said one of the major keys today, and Billy Donovan would agree, they agree on something, would be how this game would be officiated. We are piling up fouls in the early going. This is the 8th on Donovan's Gators. Ladarius Halton foul.
Both clubs like to use a lot of players, but the foul trouble has been a factor.
On the reach here, and Bonner being bodied out near center court. That could have been a foul by Halton. Knifing through the defense, Teddy Dupay off the glass. It won't fall for him. Howell on the outlet. This is Edson. Outside the arc. Good recovery by Justin Hamilton now. We wind under 9 minutes to go here in the first half. Florida and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Florida has beaten South Carolina in each of the last 4 meetings over the past 2 years. In and out for Howell.
Howell, a very athletic post player, just couldn't get that shot down.
Halton's 3 won't fall. There is Itson. 1 and done for Florida with Haslam on the bench.
Eddie Fogler's Gamecocks very sound, blocking out, not allowing very many second chance opportunities for Florida.
Jamel No. South Carolina has hit only 3 of 16 3-point field goal tries. Just 3 of 16 outside the stripe. Bonner, a big man who can move. Put it high off the glass.
And that is a very difficult shot from about 7 feet away. The runner, Matt Bonner, able to bank it home.
A terrific start for him, along with those 5 rebounds now. A total of 6 points, and having to fill the void with Haslam and Wright. Not seeing action. It's a little head fake. Grabbed on the floor as he started to the rack. And that looks to be Justin Hamilton again. That is his second. And the 9th on Florida. It's announced as his 3rd team foul on Justin Hamilton. We have it as his second. As Itson That's his very first point of this game, Barry, for the sophomore and Chuck Itzen. He averages 11 a game. That's third best, as you see. South Carolina. Orion Green has checked in. Major Parker sits down. Howell will leave. On the floor, Calvin Clemens for the first time as Rolando takes a chair. Nelson on the bench now, 2 for Florida. Off the heel. Justin Hamilton, rather. Here's Brett Nelson.
Itzen still struggling with his shooting stroke. A very good foul shooter normally. That shot, not even close.
Green to Bonner on the bounce. Dupay. Cut off by Ross. Now the feed inside for the one-handed hammer by Alcolas.
And the Gators have their 2 best available offensive players on the court, Teddy Dupay and Brett Nelson out there to create things for the Florida Gators right now.
Terrific feed to him as well. Power move by Clemens. No, sir. Hard back up. What a spin move by Itzen.
Great hustle and great effort by Chuck Itzen to get that roll and the 2 points for the Gamecocks.
Itzen, who had been struggling from the floor, finally has a field goal. 3 for him. A 1-point affair. Nationally ranked Florida on the road today and finding the going tough.
Of all the stories you've come to know, the most important by far is your own. With no other story, you care so much about how it turns out. Are you just waiting to see, or are you writing it the way you want it to go? At Jefferson Pilot Financial, we're doing more than providing financial services. We're helping you write the story of your life.
Forgot the pickles.
Chevy trucks by the ton. Michael Chevy's Truck City is overstocked with new Chevy trucks. This week, get a new Chevy Silverado from $14,890. Get a new 2001 Chevy S-Blazer LS. It's loaded and just $299 a month. Chevy trucks by the ton. Right now, drive home in a Chevy S10 from only $12,990. Over 300 Chevy trucks to choose from at Michael Chevy's Truck City, North Main Street in Somerville. We've got Chevy trucks by the ton.
15-14 here. South Carolina hanging right with Florida. Neither team shooting the ball very well, but that doesn't matter. The score does. Hope you score our way Wednesday. South Carolina in Ruff to take on the Cats will come your way at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Jefferson Pilot Sports and SEC Basketball. Alongside Barry Booker, Paul Kennedy. Today at Carolina Coliseum, this Sunday matinee. How important is winning the first game of the season? What does that do for you in league play? Can it be overstated?
Well, for South Carolina, it's more than critical. They get the Gators here. Now they got to, after this one, they have to go to Kentucky and go to Tennessee. They could very easily start out 0-3, could the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Easily the most daunting schedule of any team in the eastern half of the Southeastern Conference. That foul on Bonell Colas will put Aaron Lucas at the free throw line. That will be the 10th on the Gators. From this point forward, close to 7 minutes remaining in the first half. South Carolina shooting a pair on every whistle.
Oh, and that the South Carolina Gamecocks not a great foul shooting team, but they need to step up there and take advantage of all these opportunities they'll get the rest of this half.
As you saw, that was rather on Brett Nelson rather than Colas and Lucas. His first point of the day, he averages 11, second leading scorer. Just 1 of 2, but the offensive board by Clemens off the bench, and a huge board for him, and off the screen by
Lucas. Great setup by South Carolina. Started with Clemens getting the offensive rebound and kicking it out, and a great screen by Brent Ross. Looked like a pulling guard blocking to set up Aaron Lucas.
Where's Lou Holtz? He loves that pass protection. Lucas at the other end, however, commits his second.
That's it.
The ninth on the Gamecock.
He's like a center in football, just standing there, creating the pocket for Aaron Lucas to deliver the basketball.
Michael Boynton on the floor for Aaron Lucas as the junior sits down. Couple of threes today out of South Carolina, which is dead last and hitting outside the arc, but an indication of the fact that, and leading here 18-16, that Florida be in some trouble on the road. Certainly they are here with 6.5 to play in the first half.
South Carolina playing with a lot of confidence. You always shoot the basketball a little bit better when you're at home. South Carolina has a shot to knock off this number 5 team in the land.
Ross, dodged by Nelson, stops in rear court and throws it away. Teddy Dupay with the steal. Right back to Nelson. Started around Ross, who cut him off, and now a whistle.
Shot clock malfunction there. Didn't get it reset after the steal by Teddy Dupay.
Billy Donovan, the coat is off. Wife Christine, you see, sitting right behind him. Behind the Gator bench, she is here today, making the trip. They jetted up from Gainesville, Florida. Wonderful to see her at the game this afternoon. Time of personal tragedy for the Donovan family, passing of their young baby.
Back in November, they lost Christine Donovan, who was 9 months pregnant, and Jacqueline Patricia Donovan passed away before leaving the womb. A very difficult time for the Florida Gators and the Donovan family.
Our thoughts and prayers with Matt Bonner here for his 6th point to put Florida back in front, and again the pressure. And Florida worked on this very intently this morning. They went at it for better than an hour today here on this court. They were taped a very intense practice on game day.
Against a good, solid South Carolina club, you better be ready.
Now around the perimeter, having to work against that man-to-man. Ross to Jamel. He'll give it up. The shot clock nears 10. Boynton unloads. Another left-hander. They have 4 left-handed Gamecock. Whoa! Over the top. Right hard into the crowd. Brett Nelson. That was coach like that, huh?
Well, he should have come up with this rebound. Not able to corral it there, so he's hustling over to the sidelines. And good thing he can jump pretty well. Able to get over the top of that bench without getting his feet tangled up. He survives that fall.
Over the hedge and into the crowd. Not a lot of help from that Gator bench to catch him there, man.
They're ducking.
What's up with that?
Getting out of his way, which is probably the best thing to do. Brett Nelson, a very good athlete, can find his way to the ground.
They'll let Itson shoot if he shoots like that. Lonell Colas claims the basketball. Itson just 1 of 5 from the floor. Nelson. That won't go for him. Clemens off to Boynton for Carolina. Now Grant, and in the corner, Jamel Bradley. Hard off the heel, but Grant with another board. Jamel had the notion and thought better of it. And now Grant. Both teams clawing at the defensive end of the floor, perhaps a little too aggressively.
Lonell Colas there, getting the foul, as Calvin Clemens did a nice job posting up, setting up down the block, trying to receive the basketball.
Now Colas with another foul. He is first. And here's Calvin Clemens, the sophomore from Charlotte. A bench player now. He had started the first 6 games of the season for South Carolina. And he, too, misses. You know, we're going to give out scholarships, as Major Parker checks in, to the Barry Booker School of Free Throw Shooting Technique. It'll be a summer camp. Have everybody come to Nashville, and you can show them how to shoot free throws. Is it a lost art? It certainly is here today, as you see what they're doing on the offensive glass.
Gamecocks getting some extra opportunities. When you're not shooting the basketball well, you need those additional opportunities to put some points on the board.
Just 6 of 14. They have left 8 points at the free throw line. Have South Carolina. Backdoor Orion Green. The slam it home.
Major Parker with a pass inside and a nice setup. Nice backdoor cut by Orion Green.
So the senior in Parker sets up the kid in Orion Green with his first SEC field goal. And it's one to remember Florida by 3. Ran off the screen. South Carolina pushed well away from the bucket. Thought this might be an interior game. It's been a perimeter game today for the most part. Colas with the thievery off to Orion Green. Off that steal. Now Nelson, and Green is all alone from 22 for the 3.
He gets the dunk, the confidence soars, and now he gets an open three-point shot, takes it and drills it.
The Gainesville native has his club up a half dozen, as Florida is far more effective in the last couple of minutes than they were in the first 12 of this game. And a water bottle rolls onto the floor. So it is a freshman in his first SEC game that is perhaps giving Billy Donovan's Gators a spark here. Orion Green, two-fisted slam dunk.
Job, see that? Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
You're the best. Job.
You guys hungry back there?
Is it?
Got it.
I wouldn't open that.
Oh, hey. He opened it.
Guys, just get some beer.
Pickle. I got the ice house. All right. I'll be right back. Don't touch that.
Okay.
Fellas?
Frosty Cold Mom.
Dinner party, Ice House style. Because sometimes all you need is a smooth, never watered down taste of Ice House. Enjoy it.
All you gotta do for $1 million, my friend, is make this simple shot. But first we need you to put on these jumbo waders and add in these live Maine lobsters. Dennis, anyone? Okay, Joe, make that shot. Hey, Joe, high five. This is great.
The Alltel You Make the Call game, where every card's a winner. Ask about our 1,000-minute local freedom plan at $39.95 a month.
Florida Gators leading 24-18, taking over in the last few moments of this ball game. And the Gators have gotten it done under Coach Billy Donovan. During his time at Florida, the scoring per game has gone up each and every season, and so have the wins. So far, the Gators at 10 wins, 10-1, and really playing well, a contender for the national title.
Only Michigan State, the Blue Devils, and the Volunteers of Tennessee have been more successful over the last couple of years. And, of course, Florida met Michigan State in the NCAA championship game. I don't know in football or basketball or any sport for that matter in the SEC if anybody has had a greater impact on their university than has that gentleman over the last 5 years. NFL playoff. Oh. Bad news, partner. 24-10. Baltimore over Tennessee, your Titans from Nashville, and the Giants up a touchdown over the Eagles in the Meadowlands.
Well, the folks in the great state of Tennessee can concentrate on basketball now. It's the only consolation there in that loss by the Titans.
And in your mind, that's the world in its proper perspective. Yeah. Florida right now enjoying a run of 9 unanswered. Antonio Grant around a high-flying Orion Green. How athletic is he? And the foul, the recovery. Major Parker commits the foul, trying to deny what would have been a tomahawk dunk by Rolando Howell.
Great pass by Antonio Grant, staying under control, not getting in too much of a hurry as he was double-teamed, and dished it over to Rolando Howell. And Howell just couldn't get that shot down. If he'd gotten it up more quickly, banked it in off the glass, he's probably looking at a three-point play opportunity.
What a fabulous talent this freshman is. From right here in Columbia, Laura Richland High School, the High School Player of the Year a year ago. The most highly touted recruit that Eddie Fogler has signed in his 8 years in Columbia. In his SEC debut today. South Carolina 8 of 16 now at the line. Keep in mind those 8 points that they've let get away. It's a 4-point affair. You can make few mistakes when you're playing a team ranked 5th in the nation. If they are on your home floor, Holton off to Teddy Dupay against Itson, much taller, takes him into the paint, kicks it off to Itson, in the corner, Holton tried to feed underneath the Colas and threw it away. Bradley on the run out, off the glass, and Orion Green.
Great job by Chuck Itson, keeping his head up. As soon as he got the basketball, his head goes down the court, and he's able to find Bradley streaking to the basket. Jamel Bradley gets it up on the glass. It's goaltending once it's on its way down toward the basket. And Orion Green showing his athletic ability, but just a little bit late to block that shot.
And Jamel Bradley, just his 5th point. And the crowd getting back into it as Orion Green tacks his way into the forecourt. Matched by another freshman and Michael Boynton. Eddie Fogler saying the SEC is as good this year, if not stronger, than it has ever been. And these freshmen that you will see throughout the year are going to have a major impact on the Southeastern Conference.
And top to bottom, this league is very solid. There's just not a bad team in the Southeastern Conference this year.
Green patty-caked it off the hot pass from Matt Bonner. Boynton could not retrieve it before it sailed in the press row. But the crowd appreciates the effort.
Paul, the last 2 seasons, the SEC has added so much talent. Joe Johnson, the outstanding player at Arkansas, and Gerald Wallace showing up at Alabama this season.
DuPay forced, but there is Bonner on the offensive board, and Boynton commits the grab.
There go the Gators again, back on the offensive glass, getting another opportunity.
Well, while we have a moment, JPSports.com has the coverage you want. No one knows SEC basketball like Jefferson Pilot Sports, and we bring you the information online. Tune in each week for our broadcast schedule, the affiliate list where you can watch the games, and the preview of upcoming action, conference news, and other features. For the inside scoop, log on to JPSports.com. And if you have any free throw shooting suggestions, we are all ears at JPSports.com. 8 points, a half dozen boards for Matt Bonner. Saw him win a slam dunk contest once in high school in South Florida at the Quell Classic. Might look awkward to you, but he's got some hops and some game. Idson with the turnover. Here's DuPay to Orion Green.
Rare turnover from Chuck Idson.
Teddy from 30. Antonio Grant owns the rock. Florida has hit only 2 of 10 shots outside the 21-foot arc.
And when you don't have that inside game going, it's a lot tougher to shoot those 3-point shots.
Still matching in the man-to-man. An opportunity for South Carolina. Down this trip, they could tie Florida if they hit a 3. They are right in this game as we head toward intermission. Bradley for 3. We are tied. Jamal Bradley buries the tray. 25 aside. They're on their feet in Columbia. Green to Bonner. Backdoor. Last touch by South Carolina. No. By Florida, says official G. Manji.
Excellent defense by the South Carolina Gamecocks that time to defend that pass. Orion Green just a little bit too anxious trying to drop it inside.
South Carolina trailed but minutes ago by a half dozen. They can now lead with just over a minute remaining. What a showing by the Gamecocks. 25-25. Ran off to Boynton, working that clock, which is now at 10 on the shot clock. A minute to go in the game. Jabella's hit a couple of trays. Around Bonner he goes, tries to bounce it around the lane, instead finds Idson. What a pass. Did he call bank?
Chuck Idson has changed his shot this season. He used to use kind of a wind-up approach, and this year he's trying to start it closer to his shoulder.
Billy Donovan calls timeout, 48.8 seconds remaining. His Gators tied with South Carolina, 25 points apiece.
If you're a college basketball fan, Piccadilly Cafeteria has the opportunity of a lifetime for you. The chance for you and a friend to be members of the Jefferson Pilot Sports television crew for one of the biggest college basketball tournaments in the nation. Register to win at any Piccadilly Cafeteria or send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number. The winner, announced March 3rd, will get an all-expense-paid trip to work with JP's crew during the tournament telecast in Nashville, Tennessee, March 8th through the 10th. So register to win today.
Good morning, it's 6 a.m. Come on, your meeting's in 2 hours.
Comfort Inn knows the business traveler.
I've been thinking. Kill the slides. Just talk to him.
Remember, enunciate.
Take deep breaths.
Our complimentary breakfast saves you time and money.
You the man.
Our guest privileges frequency program earns you free nights fast. And we serve business travelers in over 1,500 locations worldwide.
You did it again. I love my job.
It's more than a room. It's comfort.
A surprise in Columbia. Fifth-ranked Florida tied with South Carolina. Less than a minute to go, 25 all. And for Florida, where would the Gators be? And Matt Bonner in his first career start come up huge here in the first half. 9 points and 7 boards, playing well at both ends of the floor.
And you wondered if that 13-point average that Matt Bonner had coming into this game was because of the competition. But the Gator showing that he can score against Southeastern Conference competition, making a couple of tough shots, as you saw in those 2 clips.
Magnified by the fact Udonis Haslem, their star junior sitter, in foul trouble, has been on the bench since this game was about 3 minutes old. And Brent Wright has lost for at least a month with foot surgery. Honor has been lost. Well, we said at the outset that South Carolina was the team of fashion to select out of the SEC's East Division. How about this, Barry Booker?
Hey, it's going to be tough anytime you travel on the road in the Southeastern Conference this year, and no one will get an easy win here in Columbia.
Dupay draws the foul, driving the inline on Rolando Howell. His second. That'll put Teddy at the line with 31.8 seconds left. Little man just going in there and forcing the big fellas less quick than him to fouling.
Yeah, draw a little contact, and as small as Teddy is, I mentioned his size advantage. He hardly ever gets fouled called on him because he's so small. The officials let him get away with a little bit more. And when he drives in there, gets bumped just a little bit, he goes flying, and he ends up on the line right here.
Calvin Clemens onto the court. Howell sits down. So Teddy Dupay, who scorched Tulane for 28 in New Orleans, game before last, and then was rested in the New Hampshire affair to get ready for this one, collects just his 5th point of the first half. And the shot clock is off, half a minute remaining. A tray here, and guess who leads at intermission? Boynton holds it up right in the middle of the game clock. Play for their final shot. We'll have the stats, the highlights for you. There have been a few coming up here in the Frank McGuire Arena.
And Eddie Fogler has to be very pleased. I'm sure he's not surprised at how South Carolina is hanging in this ball game.
Bradley off to Edson. Crossover move, the left-handed shot, an air ball, but a late whistle, and a foul on Teddy Dupay with 1.2 seconds left.
And you got it right. It was a late whistle, but it was the right call. Teddy Dupay did slap Chuck Edson on the arm as Edson was taking that shot.
That's the second on the flamboyant guard for Florida.
Well, it was actually after Edson had let the basketball go, but the shot was so ugly from Edson that Ted Valentine thought that foul took place.
Edson. Oh. If South Carolina does not win this game, they will need to look no further than the free throw line. We're in the first half, just 8 of 16 now. 9 of 17. They have wasted a golden opportunity at the stripe in the first half. It's a 1-point game, could have been tied. One final frantic inbounds here. Good if it goes? No. Orange Green will just hold it, and we are at halftime. Well, Eddie Fogler has to be delighted, you would think, in large measure with this.
Very pleased.
A 1-point affair.
Very pleased, but certainly not surprised that his Gamecocks will then.
SEC Basketball is being brought to you by Comfort Inn. It's more than a room. It's comfort. By Ice House. Ice House style is about making a good time better with the smooth, never watered down taste of Ice House. By Jefferson Pilot Financial. Complete financial planning and life insurance. We're helping you write the story of your life. And by Alltel, the power to simplify. Here comes our second half on the opening weekend of SEC play. Great to have you along from the Carolina Coliseum, 27-26. And when Billy Donovan has held an edge of any kind, he is unbeatable heading into the second half. Certainly this year, and 75-7 in his tenure. Udonis Haslem, who played all of 3 minutes in the first half before having to sit down with his second foul, opens in the middle against the South Carolina team with but 7 field goals to show from the floor in the first 20 minutes. Kitchings with a mover on Haslem, and a whistle. Is it on number 50? That would be his third, and it is.
Good grief.
That took 18 seconds, and out he'll come.
Oh, my gosh. Terrible breaks for the Florida Gators and Udonis Haslam. Not much contact there, but South Carolina does a nice job focusing, concentrating on taking it right at Haslam once he enters that game, and he gets the foul.
He's out in favor of Colas. Here he comes. Haslam was already on the bench before Colas arrived on the floor. So Haslam now sitting down with 18 seconds gone.
And I told him this morning, that as I saw him at the shoot-around, I told him, stay out of foul trouble. He didn't heed my advice.
All of Tony Kitching's points come at the free throw line. And look at this. South Carolina in front of Florida. Nelson in the paint of the lane. Looking for Colas. Threw it away. There was Orion Green. Nelson the bounce to Dupay. Right back to him. Got his feet set. Swirled out. Orion Green.
He has played very well. That's 7 points for Orion Green so far in this ballgame, or 9 points for Green. Excuse me.
He has the Kitching sink they're throwing at him today.
The Kitchings flush right there. South Carolina right back at you.
Dupay on the cut. Nice feed as well. An assist to Green. Teddy Dupay only his second field goal. Nelson applying pressure. Lucas right through it. Jamel Bradley along the end line, swatted away by Colas, and a foul on Florida and Teddy Dupay. Hard to the court and shaken up. Down hard.
Here's South third. South Carolina breaking the press. Aaron Lucas weaving his way through that press, setting up Tony Kitchings with a two-hand slam.
Already a couple of fouls on Florida. You see the third on the talented junior from Fort Myers. Had a rash of injuries. He's playing with tendonitis in his knee. Underwent shoulder surgery, rotator cuff surgery in the offseason. He's such a small man with such a large heart that he's going to get banged around.
Oh, yeah. Teddy Dupay loves to play this game. And South Carolina still struggling from the foul line.
Bradley missed them both. It's been horrid at the free throw line. 9 of 20 at the stripe. And yet within 1 of Florida. Bonner. What a beautiful feed from Orion Green. Matt Bonner. 11 for Matt.
Matt Bonner really playing well for the Florida Gators, and Orion Green, an excellent point guard, the young freshman.
It's an ask for it. Can't get it to fall. Chuck, what a struggle it's been for him. 1 of 7 today. Posted is Colas. It would have been good had it fallen. That was Jamel Bradley behind him.
And look at Orion Green running things for the Florida Gators, whipping it inside to Matt Bonner for the easy lay-in.
So Orion Green may be the star of the game on either side of the floor today. Scoring and passing the basketball. It's passing that has caught everybody's eye. He has 9 points. Total of 3 assists as well for Orion Green.
Bonnell Colas had a little 3-footer that he couldn't get to fall as he threw that foul. Now ends up with nothing.
Absolutely nothing. So does South Carolina, right over the shoulder of Aaron Lucas.
Tony Kitchings can't believe it. He's like, come on, man.
Yeah, that is
the basketball.
You know, the mental approach, the inconsistent concentration by South Carolina. They've been very good at times. Yeah, they got beat on this floor by the likes of Tennessee Tech.
Look at that dreadful foul shooting. The Gamecocks at 50% in Florida, just a hair better at 7 for 13.
I've always wanted to shoot free throws like a college basketball player, and now I can.
Anyone can.
Dupay. Off to Nelson, gets a screen from Bonner and uses it. Not well enough. Bonner went hard to try and pick up the board. Count out, run down Aaron Lucas. Here come the Gamecocks. Still within 3, a 1-possession game on a day in which this Matt Itson is 1 of 7. Petravic floats, hangs, and swirls it home.
And Chuck Itson showing what he can do. He's not shooting it well, but he distributes it very well, setting up Petravic for the easy lay-in.
And reacts defensively, but then on the move by Dupay, commits the foul. Chuck Itson, only his first.
Chuck Itzen coming off that screen, able to drop it inside. An easy reverse layup from Marius Petravicius.
Chuck Itzen today, not be scoring, but he's doing a number of things very well. Credit his defense, too. One of the reasons the Gamecocks are within one is everybody in the SEC East. You know the coaches are watching this game. Everybody a big South Carolina fan today, wouldn't you think?
No doubt.
Dupay for three. Right back his way to Petravicius. Lithuanian basketball has had I'll call it a resurgence, but certainly is gathering international acclaim. The way they played against Team USA in the Olympics. Kitching. Offensive board against Bonner. To Petravicius.
Marius Petravicius taking over this ball game. Great forward by Tony Kitching to give Petravicius the easy setup.
And the Lithuanian sensation. They took the dream team down to a final possession. Had a shot to win. Settled for the bronze. In Australia, Bradley. To Lucas, slicing through the jump step. He hangs it.
Good deed by Aaron Lucas to knock the basketball away to get that break started, and he finishes it with a nice little bank shot.
Carolina with a run early in the second half. Orion Green threw it away. The run out for Aaron Lucas. Showtime. Fogler's Gamecocks have come clawing out of the halftime dressing room.
And an offensive run for the South Carolina Gamecocks. 2 baskets by Marius Petravicius, dropping that one in off the glass. And then Aaron Lucas on the run out, hammering it home. The little guy, only 5'11", but showing some rise on that trip.
8 unanswered for South Carolina. Florida trails by 5, the largest lead for the Gamecocks in this game. And you have to go all the way back to their confrontation for Florida in East Lansing against Michigan State. That is 7 straight games, the last time that they have trailed by more than just a field goal. Very unfamiliar territory for Florida as of late.
And with Udonis Haslam in foul trouble all day long, no points for Haslam so far. The Gators are in trouble here in Columbia.
Orion Green, throw it off the official. Got it back. Major Parker with a major field goal.
And what a break for the Gators to get that to bang off Ted Valentine. Orion Green able to keep it in the front court, and Parker able to bang it in off the glass.
And now Itzen, who has been chilly, 1 of 7. And Boynton cruises. If Itzen gets going,
he's not looking for a shot anymore.
Off his foot, corralled by Nelson against Boynton. The finger roll at home. Bounced him right off the shoe.
Nice job by Brett Nelson coming up with that loose ball and taking it to the hole. Nelson and Dupay have to get it done for the Gators right now. That's their only offense at this point.
All about concentration. And Eddie Fogler quickly down the bench to send Antonio Grant to the scorer's table. Their concentration ebbs and flows. Very evident. Posted. Howell. Swirled out by the waiting arms of Major Parker. Nearly thrown away. Orion Green nearly carried it. No score. Caught the defense. Here is Major off the glass a moment ago. Can't get this to fall, but battles for it. Kept it alive. Nelson corrals, and now South Carolina sets in the defense. Frantic pace here, isn't it?
It is, and you would think that would be Florida's game, but they're struggling playing at this pace.
Dupay to Parker, and he is fouled by Boynton. For Michael, his 3rd this afternoon.
And you got to get some breaks to win on the road. Orion Green battling against the double team. The pressure from South Carolina had flipped the ball. It was going into the back court. It bounces off Ted Valentine. The Gators catch a break and end up with Major Parker's bank shot.
And tomorrow in the paper, looks like they ran a brilliant backdoor cut and they laid it up in there.
Great design by Billy Donovan, the genius of Florida.
Please, children, do not shoot free throws like this. And Major Parker, a couple of points, 3 rebounds for him. And at the line, 0 for 3 until this moment. He made the free throw. We are tied, 38-38. Donovan's Gators in a world of trouble in South Carolina.
Good morning. It's 6 a.m. Come on, your meeting's in 2 hours.
Comfort Inn knows the business traveler.
I've been thinking. Kill the sides. Just talk to him.
Remember, enunciate. Take deep breaths.
Our complimentary breakfast saves you time and money.
You the man.
Our guest privileges frequency program earns you free nights fast. And we serve business travelers in over 1,500 locations worldwide.
You did it again.
I love my job.
It's more than a room. It's comfort. Pizza Hut has got a pizza custom made for everyone on the planet Earth. The Big New Yorker, 16 inches of foldable New York-style pizza. Stuffed crust pizza, a ring of cheese deliciously hidden in a tasty crust. Pan pizza, soft and chewy on the inside, crunchy golden brown on the outside. Exclusively only from the professional pizza on the brain, 24/7 obsessive. We care about pizza so much it's frightening. Pizza maniacs at Pizza Hut. A variety so vast it is irrefutable, mouth-watering, delicious proof that together they are without the slightest doubt the best pizzas under one roof. Wow, I gotta go. I'm starving.
The finish line in the SEC opener for both Florida and South Carolina. We remind you, SECsports.com is the official website of the Southeastern Conference. This newly designed site provides faster access to up-to-the-minute information, as well as total cast coverage of championship events throughout the year. You can also participate in online contests or shop in the expanded SEC Superstore. So take a minute and experience SEC online. Look at the numbers, and the Gamecocks certainly improving, almost tripling their effectiveness from the field here in the second half. They hit 7 field goals the entire first half. They have 5 in the second half, the first 6 minutes of it. So market improvement for South Carolina.
They don't have a game where they've shot better than 50% from the field this year. So South Carolina, that shooting percentage in the 60s so far in the second half is shocking, and that will win them this ball game if they can keep that up.
Major Parker commits his third foul, Barry, and the third on Florida as well in this half is Lucas. Goes hard to the rack and fired. You can count that. Roe Aaron, his 10th point, and for Matt Bonner, his second foul.
Very Melvin Watson-like, slashing to the basket, pulling it down and able to bang it in off the glass. Aaron Lucas, the outstanding point guard for South Carolina. Eddie Fogler loves these tough little point guards able to pass the ball and distribute. And Aaron Lucas in the mold of Melvin Watson, a little smaller.
And the foul is on South Carolina's Rolando Howell. His first and the second, make it his third, and the second on South Carolina. A high post Bonner. Nelson off to Orion, back to Matt on that high post with Petravish is right behind him in that zone. He's going to back him down, use the glass, tap up his own missed shot once and twice as Bonner stayed with it.
Matt Bonner having an excellent game when Florida needs him most, playing inside very well for the game.
Howell against Petravicius. Rolls it off the iron. Rebound to Parker. Knocked out of play. Parker went over the end line and thought he was fouled by Marius. Fighting for the basketball.
And Matt Bonner seeking the basketball, continues to work for it, going after it, and finding 2 points for the Florida Gators.
Also gets a couple of rebounds for his effort there. That'll give him a total of 11 in this game. So Matt Bonner, in his very first collegiate start, a double-double. At a candidate, opening week of SEC play, perhaps, for Player of the Week. Certainly a hero today as Udonis Haslem has returned to the Florida lineup. Petravicius takes it right at him. Haslem and go.
Petravicius getting good work done. And now Florida with Udonis Haslem back in the game. Haslem trying to get in the flow of things after spending so much time on the bench.
South Carolina by a field goal. And this is Petravish's. There's the guilty party this time.
He's all over Udonis Haslem, bodying him everywhere he went on that trip down the court for the Gators.
6'10" sophomore with his third. And that'll be the fifth whistled on South Carolina. Marius with a half dozen points in the second half after playing extended minutes in the first but failing to score. The board for Big Tony at 6'10". Antonio Grant. Get the feeling down the home stretch. It's going to get very physical out there. The intensity will do nothing but increase. Bullet feed Bradley. 4-3. Off to Dupay, and the Gators will fly. Dupay, the length of the floor. Bump off the glass. Will not go.
Block on Aaron Lucas. Teddy Dupay doing a nice job in transition, taking it strong to the basket, forcing the contact, and getting to the line. You see Dupay coming right at you, weaving his way through the lane. May have been a travel right there on that jump stop. Both feet have to hit the ground at approximately the same time. Dupay gets away with the travel and gets to the foul line for 2 shots.
An important moment here. These two teams have made 19 free throws. They have missed 19 free throws. Which way do we go?
Looking for this guy. He's money from the line.
Here's Brett Nelson. Do not laugh. That's not polite. Along with Major Parker back onto the court.
Teddy Dupay.
Okay, Teddy.
83% foul shooter.
Contagious, Teddy. Flu season. Balances at 20. Oh, yeah. It's not hard. Teddy Dupay in this game with 8, along with a couple of rebounds, and now the pressure coming. South Carolina still on top of Florida. Intercepted by the big fella, Tony, or rather Udonis Haslem. Dupay off to Brett Nelson. Good first step. Along the inline, Hamilton flips it up there, and it goes.
Great body control, using the glass. Justin Hamilton flipping it home.
His very first field goal, and Florida is on top in an improbable wrister high off the glass. Lucas on the drive, and he's grabbed before the shot by Dupay. Delayed.
Won't get that basket. Aaron Lucas showing his quickness.
At the other end a moment ago. Watch this. Look at the wrist.
Brett Nelson to Justin Hamilton. J. Ham hanging in the air, forced to reverse, and able to drop that in. Highlight material for Justin Hamilton.
That's fabulous. By the way, Teddy Dupay, that is his 4th personal foul. He is on borrowed time out there. Grant to Bradley, they'll reload. Lucas bounces to Kitching. Down low, Howell, who's fouled hard by Hamilton.
Nice pass from Kitchings to Howell. Big to big. Interior passing by the South Carolina Gamecocks.
That is Hamilton's 4th foul as well. They're mounting for the Gators.
Howell just unable to finish. Once again, close to the basket, but Howell just not able to get that basketball in the hole.
And Orlando Howell, he's hit a couple of free throws today. It's his 3rd for the freshman. Hamilton with 4 fouls, Dupay with 4. Out will come Hamilton in favor of sophomore Ladarius Bolton, who sets up, bottom of your screen. Seeing, unfortunately, is believing. Those are our numbers today at the line. But Howell says, I've done what I can do. He's made all 4 of his free throws, and in a shocker, Teddy Dupay and Florida trail homesteading South Carolina.
It's time for another Piccadilly People Profile. Try saying that 3 times fast with your mouth full of catfish. That's what Sally Sanders comes for twice a week, plus whatever else catches her eye on our 50-foot spread of hot, wholesome home-style cooking. This time it's the cherry pie. And the chocolate cake? Oh well, there's always room on the tray for one more. Or 2. Piccadilly Cafeteria. Who says you can't please everybody?
All you gotta do for $1 million, my friend, is make this simple shot. But first we need you to put on these jumbo waders and add in these live Maine lobsters. Dennis, anyone?
Okay, Joe, make that shot. Hey, Joe, high five. This is great. The Alltel You Make the Call game, where every card's a winner. Ask about our 1,000-minute local freedom plan at $39.95 a month.
Light, airy cones of crispy corn. There's no such thing as too many bugles. Bugles. More is better.
And a major surprise leading Florida. And how important is this game for the Gamecocks especially? Well, Wednesday they go on the road to face none other than Kentucky. The Cats have won 4 in a row. It'll be the Gamecocks and the Cats at 8 o'clock Eastern, right here. Jefferson's Pilot Sports. You can log on to the webpage as well to track down all the latest on those two teams, including Eddie Fogler's ball club. He's done a magnificent job today against the team ranked 5th in all the nation.
Eddie Fogler has won Southeastern Conference titles at Vanderbilt and at South Carolina. He knows what he's doing, and he has this club ready to roll today.
Nelson busts the zone from 3, his very first trade. 46-44, and there is a hush in this Coliseum.
And that was a huge basket. We see in this low-scoring game, any basket is big. Brett Nelson able to knock out that 3 to put Florida ahead.
And Nelson intercepts the pass all the way against Grant, who fouled it, bumped it, looked to undercut him. He's going to the line.
Antonio Grant got a little bit underneath Brett Nelson. Not a lot of contact here, but this will certainly take your concentration away when you're looking to shoot a layup. Have a guy even touching you on your knees as you're flying in there. I think that's a good call by Gene Manji.
So, the sophomore from St. Albans, West Virginia, introduced to Billy Donovan when the coach was heading up the Marshall program, went to his basketball camp. Here he can go into double figures today, and Billy needs every point he can muster. Leading by 2, make it 3, and the last 4 points have been collected by Brett Nelson. Matt Potter will return. There for Carolina, Aaron Lucas is back on the floor playing with 3 fouls. Sitting down, Michael Boynton, the freshman in his first conference action. Pretty big free throws there, partner.
Florida trying to make a run, trying to take control of this game right now with about 11 minutes left to go.
Now 12 lead changes in this game, and it's not over yet. Tony Kitchings on the slash for his 7th point. On a travel. Very quiet day. Florida has done all of this without Udonis Haslem putting a single point on the board. And Orion Green, what a debut for him. A dozen for the freshman from Gainesville.
South Carolina does not want to get in a shootout with the Florida Gators. Florida very explosive offensively, and South Carolina limited in what they can do on the offensive end of the court.
Petravicius, a fabulous pass to Jamel Bradley. The junior from Beckley, West Virginia, his 11th point. Now Haslem, his first 2 of the game.
It looked like Jamel Bradley was going to steal that ball. He saw that Brett Nelson was about to make a feed inside, but just didn't make the play with the ball right in front of him.
Well, Florida has picked it up to lead by 4 midway through our second half. Al Bradley against Nelson. Both clubs with a total of 4 3-point field goals, and Haslem reaches around Kitchings. Tap it, some agility out of a big 270-pound post player.
He is very agile, very athletic. And the Gators have missed him all afternoon, but Haslem now back in it and back into the flow of things.
Home to Haslem against Kitchings. Lost it going up in the launch to South Carolina and Antonio Grant.
And there's Jamel Bradley making a play on that opportunity, slapping it away from Udonis Haslem.
The 11th turnover forced by the Gamecocks. They'll feed the post. Kitchings to Grant around the horn. Lucas unloads. Didn't touch a thing. Grant Nelson fighting for the basketball. Wanted to find help on the bounce move. Instead, it scoots over the end line and is into the cheerleading. Philly likes to hustle, though.
Brett Nelson really playing well, coming up with a lot of loose basketballs.
The third-ranked Duke in a big way over the Tigers of Clemson on our Piccadilly scoreboard. ACC action there. Mike Davis and Indiana down a half dozen to Michigan State, nation's top-ranked team. And NFL action for you quickly. The Giants playing at home over the Eagles, and earlier today, Tennessee was beaten by Baltimore. We're told it's 17-0 now. Giants.
The Giants own the Philadelphia Eagles. Trying to get 9 straight.
Lucas off to Bradley.
Aaron Lucas has found a way to solve the Florida pressure. Just keep that ball in his hands. With his quickness, he's able to break through that Florida pressure.
Bradley inside to Howell. Off the double. Bradley leans back to Howell again against Haslam. Does he take it? He tried to force the pass. It ends up deflected and kept alive by Chuck Gibson.
And should have gotten a reset on the shot clock as the ball did hit the rim.
You're pretty sharp. You're absolutely right on that.
Well, we stop play, get it together.
The announcers for this game, including Barry Booker, are selected and compensated by JP Sports. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Now, Billy Donovan here, I think, protesting the fact that the shot clock was reset, but it did touch the iron.
That's right. It wasn't really a shot opportunity. It was actually a cross-court pass, but when the ball hits the rim, it counts. South Carolina with 34 seconds on the shot clock now.
Interested to see how they use those 34 seconds. They try to milk the clock, down 4.
Well, that's their style. They have to just work and work and work to get a good shot opportunity.
Lucas works that pass to Grant against Bonner. Backs him into the paint of the lane and comes back out there. So they are being patient here. 20 on the shot clock and counting now.
And with Kitchings out of the game, it's Jamel Bradley shooting a 3 is their best chance to score.
Lucas surrounded off to Idson. And the foul.
The Gators, they bail him out.
Yeah, like in football, driving the ball the long way, the other team's going to commit mistakes. Put Florida on that extended run defensively. Commits to the foul here, Orion Green, with his first.
And there's not much scoring punch on the floor right now for South Carolina. Florida bailing them out, putting them on the line. The way South Carolina is shooting foul shots this afternoon, that's not much of a bailout. Idson not able to hit the front end of the 1-and-1 there.
Try 13 of 26, and you trail by 4 on your home floor. Those are 3 points. Turnaround jumper won't go for Udonis. Bradley quickly inside. Orlando Howell against him. Off to Grant. A nice pass. Ricochets. Carome's off the orange iron, and we're running the other way. Major Parker. In and out. Tap back up and in by Udonis Haslam. The offensive glass. That's what they missed in the first half when he was on the bench in foul trouble.
And with this up-tempo game, Florida loves to play this style, and Udonis Haslam able to shake free and get in there for that offensive rebound.
With 7.5 to go, a 6-point affair. Bradley, the arc change up there for 3 again. His 4th tray of the afternoon. Jamel, his 14th point.
And that's South Carolina's only offense on the floor right now. Jamel Bradley able to knock out that 3.
The crowd stirs. Nelson against Bradley, feeds Haslam, who hangs. It won't fall for him. And Haslam commits the foul. That'll be his 4th.
It was a pretty feed by Brett Nelson to get Haslam an easy opportunity, but Haslam didn't go strong to the basket. He went to the reverse layup instead of taking the contact and going up strong with the basketball.
Well, we walk the length of the floor. There you have Justin Hamilton, who's been hung with 4 fouls. Teddy Dupay on the bench with 4 fouls. Udonis Haslam with 4 fouls. All in all, Florida today has been whistled. Well, let's see. We'll count these up for you. Howell here. He's 5 of 5 at the free throw line. The foul trouble today had Teddy Dupay can only shake his head. Florida's been whistled for 20 fouls in this basketball game.
Udonis Haslam, before he left the court, gave Gene Manji an earful. Told him he went straight up, and he didn't foul on that play. But Haslam's sitting down right now.
Howell had a chance to cut it to 1. His first miss. 7 minutes to go in the game. SEC basketball is back.
Florida faced with adversity coming in with Brent Wright not available today. Now Haslam sits almost all day long in Florida with Matt Bonner trying to get it done here in Columbia.
15 points today for Matt Bonner. Double-doubles today, a signature game for him. Along with 13 rebounds for the sophomore. His first career start. In traffic, Lucas deflected it off a Gator. Underneath. 6:29 away from the finish line. Still anyone's basketball game. Can Eddie Fogler's Gamecocks upset Florida?
New batteries. Liquid wrench. Autocraft battery cables. AC Delco alternators. Advance Auto Parts carries more parts than any other store, including one you won't find anywhere else.
You know, we can give you a free installation if you like.
Sure. Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Aloha, sports fans. You're looking live in the Garage Invitational as Stoney steps to the green.
Oh, it's a nice swing there, Alice. Yeah, does your husband play? Consolation prize. Thank you so much. I'm going to shoot lefty, guys. You can't hit right. Oh, this will be funny. Come on, Mrs. Groundskeeper's going to be coming home soon. We got to get out of here. All right. Easy, guys. Give me the club.
Rain delay, Ice House style. Because sometimes all you need is the smooth, never watered down taste of Ice House. Enjoy.
Free Dodge die-cast race cars, won in marked boxes of these cereals. You can collect all 5.
You know, most men get pretty shook up about losing their hair. But today, many of them are learning about Bosley Medical. They use your own living hair to fill in the thin spots. Just look at that. It really works. You can treat it like real hair because it is real hair. Your own naturally growing hair. So you don't have to worry about it.
Bosley Medical is the world's most experienced hair restoration practice. For over 25 years, they have performed more than 130,000 procedures using the innovative micrografting techniques pioneered by founder Dr. L. Lee Bosley.
Each surgeon at Bosley Medical is board certified and individually trained by me.
So if you want to have your own naturally growing hair back, call this number for more information. We'll send you this free video and in-depth guidebook that gives you the real facts about hair restoration. There's no cost and absolutely no obligation. So do it for yourself. Call now and get the real results you've been looking for.
It's your real hair.
You can't do better than real.
Today again, only one field goal. Just 1 of 7. He averages 11 points a game. And this is tapped over the end line. South Carolina has turned it over again for the 12th time.
A poor offensive possession. Chuck Itzen, 2 for his last 20 in his last 3 ball games. Itzen struggling offensively, and South Carolina can't get anything done from the perimeter. They're having a tough time putting up points in the second half of this ball game.
An opportunity for Florida to put it away. Bonner rolls down the lane and a hit.
Matt Bonner is the man.
17 for Matt Bonner. The lead is 8, the Gators' largest of the afternoon. Lucas off to Grant. It's been an admirable fight so far as Kitchings drives hard into Bonell Colas. And he'll stand at the free throw line.
For South Carolina, that's where you have to go. Take it inside to Tony Kitchings, let him try to get an easy basket or kick it out for a three-pointer going inside out. You usually shoot a better percentage that way.
So here is the 6'10 sophomore, just playing now into his potential. I mean, the upside on this guy. Let's begin with the free throws, but the upside on this guy is tremendous. I mean, he is capable of being one of the more dominant players in the Southeastern Conference.
That's the problem for South Carolina. If Kitchings gets fouled, he has to go to the line. And 14 of 30 from the line is South Carolina on the afternoon.
They have left 16 points just laying there. Imagine the difference in this basketball game. Colas able to convert. 4 off the bench for the freshman from Miami. It's a 10-point game.
Fonell Colas, strong move to the basket.
Here again, Kitchings. Passed it into traffic, threw it away. Orion Green. Florida on a run of 8 unanswered, and now Lucas County. Aaron flattened by Orion.
Itson able to slap it away from Orion Green from behind to come up with that turnover for South Carolina.
So how good are these Florida Gators? That was the question at the outset today. They had won 10 of 11 games, but that was against, quite honestly, inferior competition in large measure. Their only loss to Michigan State, but they have played for the most part without Udonis there, without Brent Wright, who underwent surgery. You take close to 40 points out of their arsenal, along with maybe 20 rebounds and all the defense, if you look at Brent Wright. Sitting next to Teddy Dupay, who's in foul trouble before.
Coaches talk about being able to respond to adversity, and the Florida Gators faced heavy adversity coming in here today. With Brent Wright not available, Haslam in foul trouble all day long, the Gators have come through with a solid performance and lead by 9.
Green. Off to Nelson. And the point guard rolled it down for Colas and threw it away. Itson. He's even stopped shooting here. Finds Lucas free, and he's fouled. No, Itson's not even looking at the basket anymore, is he?
It's not effective for him, so he's given up on shooting the basketball right now. Has absolutely no confidence in his perimeter shot. South Carolina needs points in a hurry.
He was 1 of 6 was Itson in the first half. Has only taken 1 shot in the second. So he's gone offensively.
Well, he's trying to do what he can do. You saw him trying to feed it inside to Aaron Lucas through a nice pass. He's playing good defense, had the slap away and the steal a few moments ago.
Here's Teddy Dupay with just 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining. He'll come back in with 4 fouls. Brett Nelson joins his coach, as does Fonell Colas, over on the bench. And the story today has been the absence of consistency, and really no excuse for this. That falls. And with every missed free throw, you could hear the faithful here groan. They realized this was a golden opportunity for South Carolina.
Down by 8, they're not out of it yet, but every possession becomes critical here.
Dupay set it up. Now Teddy becomes the point guard in this attack. Right around Itson. Rolls to him. Orion Green on the wing, and Itson takes his pocket off to Jamel, who sprints all the way to the line.
Chuck Itson can't score, but he can play the defense. He can still pass the basketball very well and help his team. And that's what Chuck Itson is doing for the South Carolina Gamecocks, keeping them in this game.
Well, Bradley, the leading scorer for the Gamecocks, they're not done yet. It's a 2-possession game. He has 16 points.
No.
Bonner badly offline, and Lucas was grabbed by Green. And Orion Green hit with his second, will march 94 feet, and South Carolina will stand at the line.
Now, if they can just pick it up here at the end of this ball game, knock out some foul shots, take advantage of these opportunities, South Carolina still has a chance to pull off this upset win over the number 5 ranked Florida Gators.
All right, they have made 16. They have missed 18. You hear the facetious cheer of the faithful here. That's just the 3rd free throw today for Aaron Lucas. Make that the 4th. He is, as you see, 4 of 8 on the day. Critical points. You can pull him within 4. Unable to do so. Basketball belongs to Haslam and Florida.
And Lucas is a 76% foul shooter coming into this ball game. It's amazing.
I'd say it was logical. But what we have seen has been astounding. Haslam, bumped by Holland. Looking for some backdoor help to Hamilton. What a pass. Justin Hamilton. Just his 2nd field goal.
And Haslam had stopped dribbling in the basketball. He was, as we say, dead on the court. You got to put pressure on him when he picks up that dribble so he can't just thread the needle with the pass.
Matt Bonner whistled for the hold, contesting Rolando Howell, 15 feet away from the basket. And with his second foul now, will send the freshman Rolando Howell to the free throw line. And he looks like he's labored today, hasn't he? In the paint of the lane, he's drenched in perspiration.
He's worked hard. He's had quite a few opportunities to put the ball in the basket, but hasn't done so very frequently, except from the foul line. One of the few players in this game that shot it well from the line today.
Howell with his sixth free throw. And his seventh. As quiet as a library as he stands at the line. A 5-point game. The big fella, Udonis Haslem, the great pass inside for hoops after these messages from your local SEC station.
Anytime with you, anytime we're a pair, anytime we make a memory to share, anytime you feel how much I care.
Anytime's a good time for IHOP's Big Steak Omelet, mouth-watering French toast, or our famous fruit-topped pancakes. IHOP Classics, starting at just $3.99 weekdays. Anytime's a good time for IHOP.
Little brother. Car keys, cartoons. Plays in a band, plays in the sand. 6'3", 3'6". What brings these two to the table? Honey Nut Chex. The taste of golden honey and nuts that's sweet, but not too sweet. So everybody likes it. What'll they agree on next? Maybe girls? Maybe in a couple of years. Honey Nut Chex, bringing families together. For breakfast, anyway.
Inventions come from people in all walks of life. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm. Call now and learn how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's data bank and apply for a patent. Even if your idea is just to improve an existing product, call for ISC's free information.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-877-373-IDEA.
A 5-point basketball game, fifth-ranked Florida in front, 2:45 to go in what has been a very physical affair, filled with fouls and missed free throws. You see a total here, 25 for the Gators, 18 whistled, homesteading South Carolina.
Holding up the evening news with all this hacking going on in Columbia.
We'll get there. Appreciate your patience.
This is great. Competitive play. Southeastern Conference basketball is underway. In every game, I think, is going to be similar to this. Not necessarily the poor foul shooting and all the fouls, but very competitive.
Teddy Dupay, again with 4 fouls on him today. Starts into the paint of the lane, kicks it off to Nelson on the trail. On go, big board for Antonio Grant. And here come the Gamecocks.
South Carolina needs to get something going toward the basket. Kitchings is out of the game, so we need Aaron Lucas driving to the basket for success for South Carolina.
Lucas at the 2-minute mark against Bonner to Itzen. Only one field goal, elects to drive and dip. Pretty good decision, huh? And a timeout for South Carolina.
The jumper's not working, so Chuck Itzen trying to do other things. He's given up shooting the basketball.
SEC Basketball has been brought to you by Alltel, the power to simplify. By Piccadilly Cafeterias, who says you can't please everybody? And by Comfort Inn. It's more than a room, it's comfort.
So Chuck Itzen with the feed to Orlando Howell for the freshman, and Howell just his first field goal. Itzen doing what he can on a day in which his confidence has been shot, not shooting very well. Michigan State leading Indiana, but by 2. First, Mike Davis, the former Crimson Tide star, the head coach at Indiana. And you see the New York Giants by 2 touchdowns. Nelson across the timeline. Itzen ran right over it. Belongs to South Carolina.
Good D by Jamel Bradley, slipping in to take it away from behind.
Durant won't fall. And the push on Florida inside.
Dupa's gone.
Teddy with his fifth. Has fouled out of the game. 8 points for the flamboyant guard. He came in. That's about half his average for Teddy.
The foul trouble has kept him on the bench much of this second half.
One of those days for a team that's about 30 points beneath its pre-conference scoring average. Major difference between your first semester and second semester schedule, and this score reflects it today. South Carolina, as hideous as the free throw shooting has been, you can't fault Rolando Howell.
And for the Florida Gators, the first semester was basket weaving and swimming. Second semester, it's calculus and chemistry. What's on their schedule?
I don't think I took either of them. 9 for Howell at the line. 11 in the game, and it's a one-point affair. Can Carolina get a stop?
The Gators want to jam it inside the half one.
Bonner on the high post. Lamorian right back to the sophomore. The bounce pass inside to Hamilton off the backdoor cut. The assist to Bonner.
What a game Matt Bonner has played today for the Florida Gators. Nice feed inside, setting up Justin Hamilton for the easy lay-in.
His second assist to go along with 13 rebounds for Matt Bonner today and 17 points.
And where the South Carolina find points right now. Got to drive it to the basket.
Lucas off to Jamel. 4-3. Haslam is there to rip. A minute to go. And Florida escape with the win. What would be its fifth in a row over South Carolina. Well, Nelson travels.
Got him. That's the right call. Brett Nelson just did a little shuffle there as he's trying to run that clock down.
The 16th Florida turnover. Billy Donovan has called timeout with 51 seconds remaining, leading but by 3. While we have a moment, these same South Carolina Gamecocks will be on display in prime time Wednesday to take on Kentucky in Rupp Arena. A Cat Ball Club that is warming up, now above 500 at 7-5. They have won 4 in a row. Kentucky and South Carolina Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central.
Tennessee, Florida, and Kentucky, I think, will battle down to the wire for the SEC East crown. They ended up last season deadlocked. 3 co-champions of the Southeastern Conference East Division. Florida trying to get started on the right foot today at South Carolina.
We remind you, Itson, off the inbound flip, has only 1 field goal in this game.
South Carolina, you know they'll run a set play here coming out of this timeout, trying to get something going to the basket.
All the way, Lucas. They're cutting to 1. 15 for Aaron. And a timeout taken by South Carolina with 39.8 remaining in the game. So Lucas elects to drive it in there rather than finding Itson in the corner.
And that's what South Carolina has to do. They're not a good perimeter shooting club, so they have to slash it to the basket. That is a tough, tough floater. Getting into the middle of the lane, Udonis Haslam standing there waiting to try to take the charge. But Lucas able to get that shot off. Haslam too far under the basket, so we don't get the foul called on that play. And Christine Donovan feeling the tension. Here are the Florida Gators going down to the wire with South Carolina.
Billy Donovan has his entire family just about here today. His father, William Sr., there he is, just recently inducted into the Boston College Hall of Fame. He is sitting on the Florida bench. As you see here, with 39 seconds to go, a 1-point game. Florida against the pressure, gets it to the half court. Bonner, deflected, loose ball, run down by Bonner. He calls timeout just before he steps out of bounds. He called timeout, heads up by Matt Bonner, who's done so many things well today against Vogler's Gamecocks.
Great hustle by South Carolina, forcing that scramble.
He may there have just saved the day for the Florida Gators. 17 points, 14 rebounds, and this heads-up effort for the sophomore.
South Carolina forcing the scramble. Brent Nelson and Matt Bonner both going after the basketball. Bonner not wanting to take the chance of trying to throw it back in bounds. South Carolina, that was a critical possession for Florida. They don't want to turn it over right there, only up by 1. So Bonner maintains possession for the Gators.
From Florida with only 1 timeout remaining. That's a full. For South Carolina, they'll have a 30 and a full remaining, so 2 for the Gamecocks. 29.9 seconds remaining. A fabulous finish. Pressure packed in the Carolina Coliseum.
And I think an indication of things to come in the Southeastern Conference this season.
And the East is wide open this season. And these 2 teams appear to be 2 of the contenders, along with Tennessee and Kentucky and Georgia as well. Green off the inbound. To Bonner, who was immediately fouled. That took less than a second. 29.3 shows up there. Aaron, 0.6 of a second.
Aaron Lucas and Chuck Itzen looked like both of them had a chance to come up with a steal on that play. Just couldn't quite get to the basketball before Bonner does. Another big play from Matt Bonner.
So here's Matt Bonner. The line for the first time in the second half. And he missed it. It's off the ground. A 1-point game. A field goal wins it for South Carolina. They elect to play it out. The shot clock off, and now Eddie Fogler calls timeout with 19.6 seconds remaining. Fogler will have his shot at upsetting Florida and knocking off the nation's 5th-ranked team.
And how about this? 1 possession against the number 5 team in the country. South Carolina, if they score, they get the victory. If they don't, they take the loss. I think Eddie Fogler is going to play it that way. They're going to take it down to the final seconds of this game, try to shoot with 5 or 6 seconds left so you have an opportunity to get an offensive rebound and put back. But they're going for the win right here.
Eddie Fogler's bench 10 feet away from the crowd, where they can get some quiet and focus in this den that is the McGuire Arena at Carolina Coliseum. What a game this has been to open up still another season. Jefferson Pilot basketball, and this is the 69th year of SEC basketball action.
Eddie Fogler drawing things up, and I think it'll be another situation where you want Aaron Lucas slashing to the basket, trying to get a floater to go down, or set up one of his big guys for a lay-in if the double team comes to him.
Udonis Haslem to man the middle. Along with Matt Bonner. Mind you that Florida has 1 timeout that it can take. Checking into the game, Travis Kraft, a sophomore, has checked in. Recruited as an outside shooter. Does he handle the basketball? A field goal would win it for South Carolina. Lucas will take it. Cannot make it. The rebound to Bonner to start this day for the University of Florida with 11.5 seconds to go. His 15th rebound to go along with 17 points in his first career start.
And this is a 1-and-1 opportunity for Matt Bonner. He's going to step to the line, and he has to make the first one to get the second one. South Carolina still only down by 1. At worst, they should be down by 3 in possession of the basketball.
South Carolina does have a timeout at its disposal, as does Florida. Bonner missed a moment ago.
Clutch foul shot from Matt Bonner.
His 18th point. Now, Chuck Itzen back in for Travis Kraft. The fact that Kraft has taken Itzen's place on the floor,
that is troubling for South Carolina. When you can't afford to have your best player on the court at the end of the game because of his lack of confidence shooting.
A 2 ties it, a 3 wins it for South Carolina, and Lucas, well, the officials looking at each other. Who kicked it out of play? They say Florida did. And now Eddie Fogler burns that last time out.
What a break for South Carolina. I thought that went off Aaron Lucas's foot out of bounds, but South Carolina retains possession.
2 officials, and Curtis Shaw, Ted Valentine, looked at each other before Curtis Shaw made the call. And Eddie Fogler, having used that last time out, a 3 here would win it at the horn for it. Did this go off Lucas's foot or off Florida?
Hard to tell in the scramble, but I think we'll be able to tell here in slow motion. Look at Aaron Lucas as he turns around with the ball on the floor. It looks like it flies off of his left foot. It hit Kitchings.
Oh, it hit Major Parker, maybe?
I think it hit Kitchings. I think it hit the back of his foot, and then I couldn't tell whether Lucas's foot hit it as it flew out of bounds or not. But South Carolina catches a break.
And in this chess match, Billy Donovan says, we want to discuss our defensive set with less than 6 seconds to go.
Two incredible coaches and coaching staff in this ballgame. Eddie Fogler and Rick Callahan have been together for 12 years now, working things on the South Carolina sideline. Fogler trying to draw up a game-winning play, and Billy Donovan, great staff with the Florida Gators.
Well, Tubby and Tayshawn watching today in Lexington very intently, for they have South Carolina coming their way Wednesday. We hope you'll join us, 8 o'clock Eastern, the opening tap from Rupp. That could be a good one. Kentucky had its hands full, just slipping past Georgia by 67-63, and now South Carolina will be headed that way. Florida Gators, they have to remain on the road. They'll be in Starkville to take on Mississippi State.
That's a tough
next week. Call of the game. Down the stretch, Aaron Lucas. Did he dribble it off his leg, or did this basketball, or was it touched by a Florida Gator?
Watch Tony Kitchen's foot. Number 50 right in front of Aaron Lucas. Lucas dribbles right into Tony Kitchen. Dribbles it off of Kitchen's foot. It looked like it went between Major Parker's leg, out of bounds. But South Carolina will retain possession, and looks like they may be going for a three-pointer in the win.
Travis Kraft replaces Itson, looking for an inbounder. Needs some help. Lucas comes to it. Deflected by Green. Out of play. The freshman with the long arms, 2.5 seconds to go.
And again, the best player for South Carolina, Chuck Itson, not in the game because of his inability to shoot the basketball.
Kraft to Clemens. Kraft will launch for the win.
But what a huge shot. Cold as he could possibly be. Hasn't taken a shot since halftime. But Travis Kraft coming up huge at the end of this game for the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Eddie Fogler put him in the lineup. He inbounded it. Our all-tell play of the game. The basketball came right back to the sophomore from Mayville, North Dakota. And from way outside, he sent a shell to the Florida Gators with this tray to win it for South Carolina on opening day.
Our all-tell play of the game, obviously. Travis Kraft over Major Parker, stunning the Florida Gators. They led so much of this second half, but they're unable to hold on for the victory, setting off mayhem here in Columbia.
The unmatched emotion of Southeastern Conference basketball. At the horn, a buzzer beater by Travis Kraft. 69-68 your final. The 5th-ranked Florida Gators fall to South Carolina, a stunner in their SEC opener. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Huge win for South Carolina. Tough